The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly, silent and cold, until a single transmission changed everything. Commander J. Park sat in the dimly lit observation room, his fingers hovering over the communication console. The strange signal pulsed with an urgency that made his skin tingle. Earth had always been considered a small, insignificant planet. Decades of searching the cosmos had yielded nothing more than silent radio waves and distant, meaningless static. But today was different. The transmission carried a complexity that spoke of intelligent life and imminent danger. Hi Kim, the station's lead analyst, leaned over the console, her eyes wide with excitement. "This is no random signal," she whispered. Her fingers danced across the holographic display, breaking down layers of alien communication that seemed to pulse with desperation. The message revealed a war. Not just a simple conflict, but a galaxy-spanning catastrophe that had been raging for generations. The Stellar Confederation, a collection of alien civilizations, was losing ground against a merciless enemy known as the Primordial Armada. Entire star systems had been consumed, billions of lives erased in moments. Jay realized something profound was happening. Humanity wasn't just an observer anymore. They were about to become players in a cosmic drama that would change everything. In the research laboratories beneath the observation station, teams of scientists worked feverishly. Communication experts, quantum physicists, and military strategists began decoding the alien transmissions. Each decoded fragment revealed more about the ongoing conflict. The Primordial Armada was a technological nightmare. Massive ships that could consume entire planetary systems, with weapon systems that could obliterate entire civilizations in seconds. They moved like a plague through the galaxy, consuming resources, destroying resistance, leaving nothing but emptiness in their wake. The Stellar Confederation had been fighting a losing battle for decades. Their most advanced civilizations had been reduced to scattered remnants, hiding in the dark corners of space. Their transmissions spoke of desperation, of a final futile resistance against an enemy that seemed unstoppable. But they didn't know about humans yet. J. Park understood something the alien civilizations hadn't realized. Humans were different. Where other species might have surrendered, humans would fight. Where others saw impossible odds, humans saw a challenge. The research team worked around the clock. They began to understand the alien technologies, breaking down complex communication protocols, studying weapon designs, and analyzing strategic movements. What seemed incomprehensible to others became a puzzle that human minds were uniquely equipped to solve. Chai Kim discovered something extraordinary. The alien transmission contained not just a cry for help, but detailed star charts, weapon specifications, and strategic information. It was as if the universe itself was presenting humanity with an opportunity. Military leaders were called. Top secret. Meetings happened in underground facilities. The world's best minds gathered to discuss a potential response. For the first time, humanity faced a choice that would define their place in the universe. "We can't ignore this," Jay said during one critical meeting. "These civilizations are on the brink of total extinction, and we have the chance to change everything." The military began preparing, not with traditional weapons, but with something more powerful: human innovation, adaptability, the ability to learn and transform faster than any known species in the galaxy. Quantum computers started modeling alien technologies. Engineering teams began designing hybrid systems that combined human creativity with alien technical specifications. It was like solving the most complex puzzle in human history. Days turned into weeks. The research accelerated. Every decoded transmission brought new insights. The Primordial Armada wasn't just a military force, it was a technological civilization that consumed everything in its path. But they had never encountered humans before, and humans were about to show them something entirely unexpected. As the first prototypes of new spacecraft and communication systems began taking shape, a sense of anticipation filled the research stations. This wasn't just about saving alien civilizations. This was about humanity's first real step into a larger, more complex universe. Commander J. Park looked at the transmission one more time. The alien signal continued to pulse, a beacon of hope in the vast darkness of space. Humanity's response was being prepared, a response that would soon shake the foundations of galactic civilization. The first cosmic encounter was about to begin. The research facility buzzed with an energy unlike anything seen before. Dr. Hai Kim stood in the center of a massive laboratory, surrounded by holographic displays and complex machinery that seemed to breathe with technological potential. Humanity had discovered something extraordinary in the alien transmissions. It wasn't just information, it was a blueprint for technological revolution. The hybrid systems they were developing would change everything about human understanding of science and engineering. Young researchers worked in shifts, their eyes bright with excitement. They weren't just studying alien technology, they were reimagining what was possible. Quantum communication networks that could transmit information faster than light. Propulsion systems that could bend the very fabric of space. Commander J. Park watched from the observation deck. He understood this wasn't just a scientific breakthrough, it was a survival strategy. The alien conflict had taught them one crucial lesson: adapt or be destroyed. Military training centers transformed overnight. Traditional combat techniques gave way to new hybrid strategies. Soldiers learned to think like quantum computers, to predict and counter movements with mathematical precision. They studied alien battle recordings, breaking down complex tactical patterns that had defeated entire civilizations. Dr. Sung Choi, the lead quantum physicist, made a breakthrough that would change everything. He discovered a way to integrate alien communication protocols with human neural networks. It meant soldiers could process information thousands of times faster than before. "We're not just copying alien technology," Sung explained during a classified briefing. "We're improving. Humanity has always been about innovation, about pushing boundaries." The first prototype weapons were nothing like traditional human technology. They were living systems, adaptive and intelligent. Drone swarms that could think collectively, changing strategies in milliseconds. Communication networks that could predict enemy movements before they happened. In secret laboratories, scientists worked on something even more revolutionary. They were developing interfaces that could connect human consciousness directly with advanced computer systems. It meant a single human operator could control complex technological systems with just a thought. The Stellar Confederation's scattered remnants began receiving strange transmissions. Humans were sharing strategic information, offering technological support. But they were doing it in a way no alien civilization had ever seen before. Military academies became transformation centers. Young recruits learned quantum mathematics alongside traditional combat skills. They studied alien languages, cultural systems, and technological patterns. Every student became a potential game changer in the cosmic conflict. Engineering teams developed new materials that could adapt and change. Spaceship hulls that could repair themselves. Weapon systems that could reconfigure based on specific tactical needs. It was like creating living technology that could think and respond. Psychological warfare became a critical component of human strategy. They weren't just developing physical weapons, they were creating systems that could understand and predict alien behavioral patterns. Dr. Hai Kim's team made another crucial discovery. They found a way to decode the fundamental communication patterns of the primordial armada. It meant humans could potentially infiltrate and disrupt their most secure communication networks. The transformation happened quickly. Within months, humanity went from a species barely understanding space travel to a potential galactic power. Traditional limitations of human technology disappeared. Everything became possible. Military simulations showed extraordinary results. Human hybrid systems could defeat alien tactical formations that had destroyed entire civilizations. The unpredictability of human strategy became their greatest weapon. Commander Park understood the profound implications. This wasn't just about winning a war. This was about proving humanity's potential on a cosmic scale. Late one night, as researchers continued their work, Sung Choi looked at the complex holographic displays. "We're not just preparing for a war," he told his team. We're rewriting the rules of technological evolution. The facility continued to buzz. Computers calculated, researchers designed, soldiers trained. Humanity was accelerating at a rate that would soon shock the entire galaxy. Their technological revolution had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The cosmos watched and waited. The first human strike team moved like silent shadows through the vast emptiness of space. Commander J. Park watched the holographic displays, his fingers hovering over complex control systems that seemed to breathe with technological life. Their target was the communication infrastructure of the primordial armada. No traditional military approach would work. This was something entirely different. A surgical precision strike that would change everything. Quantum-encrypted drone swarms deployed silently. Each drone was more than a machine. It was a thinking system, capable of adapting and changing strategies in milliseconds. They moved like a living cloud, invisible to traditional scanning systems. The alien war councils didn't see them coming. The first disruption happened so quickly that monitoring systems barely registered the event. Communication networks of the primordial armada began to falter. Critical systems went dark. Strategic command centers lost connection with frontline units. Dr. Hai Kim monitored the operation from the central command station. Her eyes tracked the complex web of technological interactions. "It's working," she whispered. The human intervention was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Each drone carried multiple layers of technological complexity. They could hack, disrupt, and reconstruct communication pathways faster than any known system. Where traditional military strikes would use brute force, humans used intelligence and adaptability. The Stellar Confederation's scattered remnants watched in disbelief. These humans were doing what entire advanced civilizations had failed to do for generations. They were dismantling the primordial armada's most secure systems without firing a single traditional weapon. Tactical teams on the ground began their secondary operations. Specialized units moved through alien territories, gathering intelligence, disrupting supply lines, creating chaos in ways that defied traditional understanding of warfare. Commander Park understood the psychological impact. It wasn't just about destroying systems. It was about creating a sense of uncertainty. The primordial armada had never encountered an enemy that could think and adapt so quickly. Alien battle recordings would later show something extraordinary. Human units moved with an unpredictability that seemed almost supernatural. They didn't follow standard military protocols. They invented strategies in real time, changing approaches faster than computer systems could predict. The first major communication hub of the primordial armada collapsed within hours, not through massive destruction, but through a complex network of technological infiltration that left their systems confused and non-functional. Specialized human teams had developed something revolutionary. They could understand and manipulate alien communication frequencies at a level that seemed impossible. Each transmission became a weapon, each data stream a potential point of strategic intervention. Dr. Sung Choi's neural network technologies played a crucial role. Soldiers could process information thousands of times faster than traditional units. They could predict enemy movements, understand complex communication patterns, and respond with unprecedented speed. The intervention wasn't just a military operation. It was a demonstration of human potential. Where other civilizations saw limitations, humans saw opportunities for innovation. Alien war strategists began to realize something terrifying. These humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were a completely different type of technological civilization. Communication intercepted between primordial armada command centers revealed growing panic. Their most secure systems were being dismantled. Their strategic advantages were disappearing, and they couldn't understand how. Commander J. Park allowed himself a small smile. This was just the beginning. The human strike team continued their operation. Each movement was calculated. Each action was precise. They weren't just fighting a war. They were rewriting the rules of cosmic conflict. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Humanity had arrived. The war entered a new phase. Commander J. Park stood in the central command station, watching holographic displays that showed the complex dance of cosmic conflict. Humanity had become more than just another species. They were a force that could change everything. Wu Li, the diplomatic strategist, worked tirelessly. His team wasn't just negotiating alliances, they were reshaping the entire political landscape of the galaxy. Each communication was a weapon, each diplomatic exchange a strategic move. The primordial armada found itself facing an enemy unlike any in galactic history. Human psychological warfare went beyond traditional understanding. They didn't just attack physical systems. They attacked the very concept of strategic thinking. Specialized teams developed communication systems that could infiltrate alien networks at multiple levels. They understood the psychological patterns of the enemy, predicting responses before they could be formulated. It was like playing a complex chess game where humans could see every possible move. Military units began deploying hybrid technologies that defied traditional understanding. Drone swarms that could think collectively. Communication networks that could predict and counter enemy movements in milliseconds. Each system was more than a weapon. It was a living, thinking entity. Dr. Hai Kim's research team discovered something extraordinary. They could decode the fundamental communication patterns of the primordial armada. This meant humans could not just intercept messages, but understand the entire strategic thought process of their enemy. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien military units began experiencing unprecedented levels of confusion. Their most secure communication systems became compromised. Strategic command centers lost the ability to coordinate effectively. Commander Park understood that this was more than just a military conflict. It was a battle of technological and psychological innovation. Humans were proving that adaptability was the most powerful weapon in the universe. Specialized training centers transformed soldiers into something more than traditional warriors. They became technological adapters, capable of understanding and manipulating complex alien systems. Each soldier was a potential game changer. The Stellar Confederation watched in amazement. These humans were doing what entire advanced civilizations had failed to do for generations. They were dismantling the primordial armada's strategic capabilities. Without massive physical destruction, alien communication interceptors began reporting strange patterns. Human units could predict and counter strategic movements with impossible accuracy. It was as if they could read the enemy's thoughts before they were even formulated. Wu Li's diplomatic team worked on another critical front. They began creating complex alliance networks that isolated the primordial armada. Each diplomatic exchange was a strategic move, cutting off support systems, creating political pressure. The war became a complex dance of technology, psychology, and strategic thinking. Humans had transformed cosmic conflict into something entirely new. They weren't just fighting. They were revolutionizing the very concept of warfare. Dr. Sung Choi's neural network technologies reached new levels of complexity. Soldiers could process information at speeds that seemed impossible. They could understand alien communication patterns, predict responses, and develop counter-strategies in milliseconds. The primordial armada's most secure systems began to fail. Communication networks collapsed. Strategic command centers lost the ability to coordinate effectively. Each human intervention was like a surgical strike that destroyed the enemy's ability to think and respond. Commander Park watched the holographic displays. Each movement was calculated. Each action was precise. Humanity was proving that innovation and adaptability were the most powerful weapons in the universe. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Humanity had transformed from a small, seemingly insignificant species to a cosmic force that could change everything. The total war had begun. The final moments of the cosmic conflict arrived with unexpected silence. Commander J. Park stood on the observation deck, watching as the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Humanity had done the impossible. They had not just participated in the war, they had completely reshaped the entire galactic power structure. The primordial armada, once considered an unstoppable force, now trembled on the edge of total collapse. Dr. Hai Kim's final report showed something extraordinary. Human intervention had not just defeated an enemy, they had fundamentally changed the way civilizations understood conflict, technology, and survival. The surrender came not through traditional means. There were no massive battles, no final dramatic confrontations. Instead, the primordial armada simply found itself unable to function. Their communication systems were completely compromised. Their strategic capabilities had been dismantled from within. Wu Li prepared for the most important diplomatic mission in human history. The Interstellar Council was preparing to meet, and humanity would no longer be seen as a marginal species. They were about to become key players in galactic politics. Alien civilizations looked at humans with a mixture of terror and profound respect. These were not conquerors. They were transformers, a species that could change the entire dynamic of cosmic existence with nothing more than innovative thinking and technological adaptation. The Stellar Confederation representatives gathered in a massive holographic conference. Representatives from thousands of alien civilizations watched as the human delegation prepared to speak. The room was filled with an electric tension. Commander Park understood the profound moment. This was more than a political meeting. This was humanity's official introduction to the larger cosmic community. Dr. Sung Choi presented the technological innovations that had changed everything. Hybrid communication systems, adaptive neural networks, psychological warfare technologies that could predict and counter complex strategic movements. Each presentation showed how humans had revolutionized understanding of technology and conflict. The alien representatives listened in stunned silence. Entire civilizations that had fought for generations found themselves completely transformed by humanity's intervention. The primordial armada's collapse was not just a military defeat, it was a complete systemic breakdown. Wu Li's diplomatic skills shone brightest in this moment. He didn't present humanity as conquerors, but as problem solvers. They had not just won a war, they had offered a new way of thinking about survival, innovation, and cooperation. The technological advances were beyond anything the galaxy had seen. Human systems could adapt, think, and respond faster than any known civilization. They had turned warfare into a complex dance of intelligence and innovation. Alien civilizations began to understand something profound. Humanity was not just another species to be categorized or understood. They were a transformative force that could change everything they touched. The Interstellar Council voted unanimously. Humanity would not just be invited to join, they would become a central part of galactic governance. Their unique approach to problem-solving had proven too valuable to be ignored. Commander Park watched the proceedings with a sense of quiet satisfaction. They had done more than win a war. They had changed the fundamental understanding of what was possible. The final diplomatic documents were signed. Humanity was now an official member of the galactic community. But everyone understood this was just the beginning. Dr. Hai Kim looked at the complex data streams. Each number, each calculation told a story of transformation. Humanity had arrived on the cosmic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. The galaxy seemed to pause. Thousands of civilizations looked at humans with a new understanding. These were not just another species, these were transformers, innovators, problem solvers. Wu Li smiled slightly. The diplomatic mission was complete. But the real work was just beginning. Humanity had changed everything.